What diseases did conquistadors bring? Have you ever wondered how the arrival of the conquistadors changed the Americas forever? One of the most significant impacts was the introduction of various diseases that devastated indigenous populations. The conquistadors, who came from Southwest Europe during the Renaissance and Reformation period, carried with them a range of infectious diseases that had profound effects on the native peoples they encountered. Among the most deadly was smallpox. This disease first appeared in the Caribbean around the year 1507. It quickly spread and decimated communities, particularly on the island of Hispaniola. By the years 1518 and 1519, smallpox had reached Cuba and Puerto Rico, and eventually made its way to the North American continent. The mortality rate was staggering, with entire tribes being wiped out. This led to a drastic reduction in the labor force available to Spanish settlers, prompting them to import enslaved Africans as replacements. But smallpox was not the only disease the conquistadors brought. Measles, influenza, and typhus also followed, causing additional waves of illness. For example, when the Spanish arrived in the Incan Empire, a smallpox epidemic had already claimed many lives, including that of the Emperor Huayna Capac in the year 1529. The spread of these diseases often outpaced the physical movement of the conquistadors, meaning that indigenous communities faced devastating epidemics even before direct contact with Europeans. The biological impact of these diseases was a key factor in the success of the Spanish conquests. It weakened native resistance and made it easier for the conquistadors to establish colonial rule. From the perspective of Southwest Europe, these diseases were an unintended consequence of exploration. However, they played a decisive role in shaping the history of the Americas. This introduction of diseases was part of what is known as the Columbian Exchange. This exchange involved not just diseases, but also the transfer of plants, animals, culture, and technology between the Old World and the New World. The demographic collapse caused by these diseases remains one of the most tragic legacies of the conquistadors' arrival. Understanding the role of disease in the conquest helps clarify the complex interactions between Europeans and indigenous peoples. It shows that military and technological advantages alone do not fully explain the rapid Spanish domination in the Americas. The effects of these Renaissance-era explorations from Southwest Europe continue to be felt in global history today.